The autumn wind is a league, holding the treasures ye may seek. Have some fun and play along, whether for a day or for a week. Seek advice from a sage, or battle straight up. Square off in a cage, or joust without a cup. It's a FanDuel. Is it your favorite you take, or make the logical play? Will your foes stand before you and quiver and quake, as you will be crowned prince for a day? The autumn wind may be a casual player, FanDueling just to talk trash. But there will be those that will play, that will be able to say, I've got my hands on some cold, hard cash.
Hello and welcome to the Box Scores FanDuel Draft Day. I'm Brock in Los Angeles from our very own Red Zone set, joined by the Danette, and they are ready to draft their teams as we hit the stretch here, kicking off Week 13 in the DanDuel Listener League. Paulie, you brought up this topic on Tuesday. Seton now has the most first-place finishes in the Man Cave with 4. The rest of you have 2. Who are you taking to finish with the most wins, Seton or the field?
Oh. I'm going to stick with Seton because if he gets one more, I think he's locked in. That being said, I don't know which I'd rather have. Seton having the most overall victories or McLovin winning the entire league one week. I think, most like to. Even though Seton's had a better year than Andrew, I think. You did win the league one week, the entire league. You're first place, right? First week?
Right.
That's what I would want one time.
Just curiosity, am I confused here? We're doing a weekly fantasy football,
weekly.
and the entire thesis is
It
you
all
start
changes
over
from
every
one
week.
week to the next.
So cumulative wins means what exactly?
Pride.
It means you're better than the other people that you're going against.
It means that week after week, one person performed better than
it does show
than the rest.
a little bit of skill
Right, Ted in
involved.
Milwaukee won $300,000 one week, but he may have won money all these other weeks.
But if you look at the league, if you get $100 one week and then you finish just out of the money every other week,
That's what I'm saying.
the $100 performer has outperformed everybody
Andrew,
else.
I am saying that, like, what you did, I would rather have. So you're right.
By the way, how on earth did I do that? That was the
was
craziest
crazy.
thing in the history of the world.
I thought there was initial shenanigans where you put in like 2 teams or something like that.
I don't even know.
That was the week that he won the whole league. Is the week he
But
had
even
2
still,
teams.
even
I didn't even know how that was happening.
I'm no math major, but I think that doubles your odds if you have 2 teams instead of 1.
But still, to come in first out of like
Dude, I
1,000,
came in
2,000
first and
people.
second. I haven't even sniffed the top 100 since then.
You gotta win.
Perhaps you cursed yourself, my friends. Well, let's all take a look at the Week 12 standings. The Boss took home first place finish number 2 last week with a 135-point performance, followed by Paulie. Todd Fritz wins his prized Middle of the Road award, followed by McLovin and Seton, who came in last. Fritzy, you went in on the Sixers getting their first win over the Lakers on Tuesday night and came out on top. Are you willing to see if you can keep the hot streak going and make the man bun bet on a first place finish this week?
Yeah. Wow. I'm feeling really good about things. I like my team this week. I'm not ready to go back into the wheel of punishment or man bun hopper. I ducked one there big time with the Sixers coming back in the second half to defeat the Lakers. But as far as the FanDuel this week, this is the first time in a while where I felt like I was able to put a pretty strong team together and stay within the budget.
Third place, though.
All right, middle of the road.
This week coming up, I hope to finish in the top 2.
Okay, well, with an action-packed Week 12 now a distant memory, it's time to recap what made the greatness of Week 12 and the disastrous. I'll toss it out to Milford and Paulie with his finger-licking good picking.
So this is a guy who's not notoriously great at fantasy football, Russell Wilson. He's not a stat guy. He's the kind of guy who could have like 210 yards passing, a touchdown, and 40 yards rushing, which is nice, but it's not home runville. He never has those monster weeks, I don't think.
Running stats is the only way he can hit a home run.
Right.
Usually.
Russell's one of those guys who's consistent and probably will never have an awful game. So he had 5 touchdowns, 345 yards passing, and only 14 rushing yards for 35 points. Now, here's another guy who's been off and on and just had a monster week. Jarvis Landry, Miami, 13 catches, 165, a touchdown. He ran for 4 rushing yards. I don't know why that's on there at all, but it's on there. Phillip Rivers, who also ran for 9 yards rushing, which belongs nowhere near this stat, threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, Phillip Rivers is the kind of guy who has more of those weeks than he doesn't. He's one of those guys that he'll have. Remember, don't confuse losses with bad fantasy performance. Phillip Rivers isn't going to win you a ton of ball games, not the important ones, but he'll pad your stats. Now let's go to Fritzy for some meaningless stuff that he has.
After going on a tear a few weeks back, running over defenses left and right, you began expecting big things from Todd Gurley, Rams running back. Not so much this week. Bengals shut him down, holding him to only 19 yards on the ground. Didn't do much better in the passing game. 1 catch for 11 yards, giving you a mere 3.5 fantasy points. Not going to get it done. Other bust, one close to my heart as a fan, Vernon Davis, Broncos tight end. I went with him thinking he would light it up against New England on
You always have a bust every week.
There's at least one, if not both of them end up being busts.
Who is going to be the guy in your team this week that will be on your bust of the week next week?
Find out in the next segment. That's a tease.
Teaser.
That could be
That's
Doug
called the tease.
That'll probably be Doug Baldwin. I had high hopes for him doing well for the Broncos Sunday night, but that wasn't the case. 2 catches for 10 yards against the Pats. Gave me a measly 2 points from the tight end. Not going to get it done. Lamar Miller, by the way, 2.8 screwed me
That's
up
not gonna
in the
help
running
anybody.
back category. And now we will go to Seton with his breakthrough rock star.
You know, I initially thought that this was going to be a moment of me sort of turning the other cheek and being a bigger person here and saying that, you know what, the breakthrough rock star is C.J. Anderson, who put up a bunch of yards,
nice
again,
call.
2 touchdowns, got you like 29 points. But you know what? I'm not going to be a bigger person about that. Who cares about that guy? Let's go see what McLovin has to say.
Wow. Mean-spirited.
Wow. All right, this is almost as hard as what Seton just had to do there. I have to pick a Harvard guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, we beat Harvard pretty good when I was at Dartmouth, maybe 4 years in a
In
row.
what?
Jay Fiedler, ever hear of him? NFL quarterback, played quarterback at Dartmouth. But now the Harvard guy is throwing touchdowns all over the place to Brandon Marshall, and
Ho-hum,
I guess he looks
ho-hum.
good. But come on, that beard, hello.
That is a solid beard. And a solid breakdown there from the guys. Look at the bright side, Fritzy. At least this week, all of your players finished with at least 1 point or more. Something to build on. All right, don't go away. We're going to get you ready for Week 13 with Seton and McLovin's lineups. And remember, in your fantasy truck league, you need to keep the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel on your roster every week. This bad boy can climb a hill, haul a trailer, and score the game-winning touchdown every game. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. All right, welcome back to Boxers FanDuel Draft Day. It's time to get ready for lucky number 13. But first, let's reveal the Danettes challenge for this week. McLovin, what do you got?
Okay, there are 4 teams in the final 4 ranking, the top 4 teams in the penultimate ranking. You have to find a player from one of those teams. So I mean somebody who went to Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, or Iowa. It has to be on your team in some form or another.
All right,
How
well,
many Iowa options do we have? I'm curious. How many Iowa?
Can I draft Chad Greenway?
TJ Fedorowicz, the tight end. Chad Greenway. I went with the defensive guy. I'm telling you right now.
Spires?
all right. Well, allow me to throw one in the mix, if you will. You have to draft a player who's responsible for a piece of memorabilia in the man cave. Seton, how tough would that be to find someone to meet the challenge?
Holy smokerinis.
Julio Jones?
Yeah, we've got Julio Jones. We've got Robert Griffin Jr. III, but he's not playing.
There's a Lamar Miller jersey over there.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart.
Oh,
doesn't
that's Reggie
count.
Miller.
Picking him.
I'm sorry, that's Reggie Miller. Yeah.
We got a man.
Now, what about Aaron Rodgers, since we have the T-shirt?
Yeah.
Could we take
That
him?
counts.
He's responsible for it.
He's responsible for it. We've got, well, Peyton Manning's not
Manziel.
playing either. Manziel. Yeah, he's got something in here.
Brock, don't be afraid to throw these suggestions out on a Wednesday, you know.
We answer the Twitter whenever we can, and we try to get them to you as soon as possible. Well, I'm not sure if anyone on his roster has blessed Dan with a gift or two, but let's find out. Seton, who's on your roster?
I think a bunch of guys who are going to get me in last place. Although I feel like that almost every week, and this week it did work out. I'm almost never very confident in my roster. But I've got Cam Newton, D'Angelo Williams, Giovanni Bernard keeps popping up. And I'm like, why do I keep taking him? I'm not really sure. Martavis Bryant, Kendall Wright. Julio Jones is my Alabama guy.
Martavis Bryant, Clemson guy, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Greg Olsen I took again. don't
Do you
really
have like
know
a family
why.
relationship with him? You take
I've taken him probably like 7
There's
weeks.
really no other tight end to take. Tyler Eifert's hurt.
And
so-
then I'm doing the whole Cam Newton, Greg Olsen thing again. Cairo Santos is my kicker. I took the Patriots defense against the Eagles.
Santos guys.
Good call.
Olsen looks like he plays Thor in regional theater. Seton, there's a plethora of Clemson receivers in the NFL that are studs. Sammy Watkins, DeAndre Hopkins, and Martavis Bryant. What lured you to take Bryant out of those three?
Because he's one of those guys that always pops up that it's like, oh, hey, look, he had another monster week. Oh, look, he had another monster week, and my wide receivers really haven't been doing well for me. And I felt like, you know what, I haven't taken him in a little while. Maybe only once. So figured, why not? Give it a shot.
All right, speaking of greatness, the great McLovin suffered his worst finish of the year with a fourth place showing. Let's hear if the group that he has will help him bounce back.
Well, as always, I have the same team as Seton. Just a few of the pieces are different. Although I had Martavis Bryant in my lineup forever, and then I switched him.
LeGarrette Blount's a good
You got to go Cam, D'Angelo Williams. Now, LeGarrette Blount, everyone knows
We don't
here.
have the same team at all.
Well, we have the same quarterback and first running back. LeGarrette Blount's the biggest feast or famine player in the NFL. Eagles can't stop anybody on the run, so the Patriots got to run.
That's a great
Which
pick.
means Belichick's going to throw every single play. You know, Landry, I made the mistake of getting the guy who was hot last week. Deshaun Jackson has been playing well, really shows up in prime time, so I like him. Brandon Marshall, he was so good last week, I'm going to regret that. I know it. Julius Thomas showed up the last couple weeks for Jacksonville. Dustin Hopkins, Florida State. Buffalo defense with Marcel Darius leading the way, former Alabama Crimson Tide defender.
All right, McLovin, you second-guessed yourself last week and made the switch from Russell Wilson to Carson Palmer. Which pick are you most concerned about this week?
Oh, there's a few. D'Angelo Williams, because we don't know what's going on with the quarterback spot at the Steelers. So D'Angelo Williams, I don't know what to do with. Brandon Marshall. If you bring up that Russell Wilson thing again one more time, by the way, Brock, I will get on a plane and I will lose to you in a fight.
REALX, come on, man.
Good one. Yeah, I'm nervous about this week.
Okay, well, we've got two lineups all set. And remember, if you want to play 1 week fantasy football against Dan in the Jerky McLovin, you just go to FanDuel.com/Patrick and enter the promo code Patrick for a 100% deposit match up to $200 on new accounts, $5 to enter, and winners get instant cash as soon as contest ends. That's FanDuel, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. All right, stick around. Todd Fritz and Paul Pabst are on deck with their lineups. Oh, we are back here in the box scores. FanDuel Draft Day, the day of all days. Fritzy, you took Phillip Rivers last week, and he was one of your more impressive players. How close were you to taking him again this week?
I thought about it, but from past history, someone who's done well 1 week for me, if I went with them a second week, it just did not pan out. And just the thought of picking Phillip Rivers two weeks in a row or even twice the same year was going to be difficult for me personally. So I decided to go in a different direction. I'm hoping the angry and so-called soft Tom Brady of the New England Patriots is going to wake things up against the Eagles after a very bitter defeat in overtime in snowy Denver. I went with Tom Brady as my quarterback. Adrian Peterson fulfilling the challenge, former Oklahoma Sooner. C.J. Anderson, I'm hoping he's going to have another big game after his heroic effort in Mile High as my second running back. Wide receivers, I went Emmanuel Sanders. I wasn't going to go two Broncos, but it was going to be between Sanders and based on the budget, I thought that was going to fit nicely, and I think that Osweiler is going to go to Sanders more than he'll go to Demaryius. Sammy Watkins against the Texans. I like Sammy Watkins this week. Doug Baldwin is my third wide receiver going up against the Vikings. Went Benjamin Watson as my tight end against Carolina. Adam Vinatieri kicking for me in the Sunday night game against the Steelers. And I went with the Buccaneers defense against a questionable Falcon team with some poor decisions lately by Matt Ryan.
All right, Fritzy, the last time you spent over $18,000 on a quarterback-running back combo, you posted one of the worst performances of the year with a 77-point debacle. Why go back to that strategy?
Because I'm just hoping that that can't happen twice, and that was just some kind of strange aberration, and I was playing with the numbers, and then to be able to grab Tom Brady and Adrian Peterson as my quarterback and first running back, just something tells me this is the week. On unlucky week 13, this will be the lucky week to spend a lot of money.
Brady is
on
the
quarterback.
interesting one there, considering his entire offense is hurt except for one running back.
but he's playing a terrible defense.
Right, but where's he going to throw to? Jimmy Lipper.
Yeah.
He's got 5 Jimmy Lippers out
I'm
there.
hoping he's going to be a man on a mission after the way he was screaming at the refs and freaking out over that.
It's an interesting choice. It is. I'll be curious to see how that works out.
We're all very curious on that one. On to the man who posted a second-place finish in Week 12. Paulie, lay your lineup on us.
First of all, second sucks. Second is worse than last. Carson Palmer, he's been good almost every game this year, and I think it's a pretty good price for him, $7,900. D'Angelo Williams, it's all his again, another chance. Chris Ivory, very good this year. Now, I don't think he went to Oklahoma, but he was recruited by Oklahoma. Larry Fitzgerald, Alshon Jeffrey, Emmanuel Sanders. Delaney Walker's had some sneaky good games this year. Stephen Hauschka, he was awful last week. I think he missed 2. He's got to pick it up or he's going to be replaced in the offseason. And the New York Football Giants are my defense.
And they surely have someone from one of those 4 schools.
I would bet $3 on it.
All right, Paulie, you went with the strategy of selecting players in the $7,000 range. Which player on your team do you see going up the most in price after a monster performance this week?
Good question. Probably D'Angelo, because I could see him getting the ball a lot if Ben Roethlisberger's banged up. You know, he's their main guy these days. The other thing I did, either consciously or subconsciously, I didn't take any players with a 1-syllable first name. Not very fond of that, even though my name is Paul. Chris Ivory.
So even that
Christopher Ivory. Did you read?
Christopher.
You went Christopher, even though
It's on my thing.
everyone knows he's Chris Ivory.
His friends,
but Christopher Ivory.
His coworkers, like I am, it's Christopher Ivory.
So noted. All right. Don't go away. The boss had a great Week 12, finishing first in the man cave. Let's see if he can keep it going. But first, we're going to take a break and remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. Guts, glory, Ram. We are closed up shop here on the Box Scores FanDuel Draft Day. And don't forget that's right, you can also take on Dan and the Danettes in weekly fantasy football. Just go to FanDuel.com and enter the promo code Patrick for a 100% deposit match up to $200 on new accounts. $5 to enter, and winners get instant cash as soon as contest ends. Now, Seton, the boss, has been talking a lot of trash lately now that his performance has stepped up. What is going to be an excuse if he falls flat this week?
Us somehow.
Yeah, somehow it's going to be, no, it's not going to be our fault if he falls flat. It's going to be, I just had a lot going on. I wasn't really into it, so I just threw together whatever it was. I've been dominating so much that I really wanted to give you guys a chance to get your morale back up. So don't worry, maybe I'll.
But he never tells us that before the result. Like if he is planning to throw this week to give us a better chance to feel good about ourselves, could he tell us before that results are in?
Interesting.
Let's see. All right, well, we shall see if Dan can keep his recent success going. It's time to find out who he's taking in Week 13. Take it away, DP.
I'm on a roll here, and this is my FanDuel lineup for this weekend. I'm taking the red rifle, and I hope they don't turn him into a BB gun. I got Andy Dalton. I got D'Angelo Williams. I've got DeMarco Murray, Alshon Jeffrey, Jarvis Landry, Danny Amendola, even though coming back from an injury. Travis Kelce, all he does is score touchdowns. Stephen Hauschka of the Seahawks in the Steelers defense there against the Colts on Sunday Night Football. I don't like doing this publicly because the Danettes are right here and they can hear what I'm doing, and then they'll see Fritzy is writing down stuff as I speak about, see? It's my lineup. Everybody else might as well steal from me.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy. I'm no expert, but I've Dalton, DeMarco Murray, Landry, Amendola. I think those are 4 mistakes on first glance. I just don't see any of those 4 guys doing it. But then again, I had 3 guys that added up to a total of like 6 points this past week.
DeMarco Murray is
but I think DeMarco is questionable. And
what would you bet on your team beating Dan's team?
Definitely not a man bun.
I
would be very surprised if we don't.
I'll bet you DeMarco Murray is in Fritzy's Busts of the Week next Thursday.
Who's most likely BOTW?
Well, Bus implies that
FPOTW.
Bus implies that anyone would take him, but Dan is pretty. You know how you see percentage owned on the internet?
like people like everybody's got this guy, and then he was a bust. It's like nobody's.
Alshon Jeffrey, 97% chance he won't even play, so he's not going to be a bust of the week either. Outside Jeffrey gets a hangnail is out for 7 weeks, so.
Needs a good manicure. That's what he needs.
Ingrown hair.
Hey, McLovin, the boss is going with your boy Andy Dalton this week. Smart move?
Saw that. Oh, well, I mean, he torched Cleveland last time they played, so you think he'd be good. I mean, Cleveland lets up points, but it's always nerve-wracking. I think it's more of a message to me. It's like, McLovin, I see you.
I see you. Oh, I remember that from the Joy Luck Club. Paulie, real quick, tell us who comes out on top this week.
Who? Me.
Fantastic.
Boom.
You know what? It's time for me to pick which standout I think is going to come out on top. And I agree with Paulie. Second place sucks. He's going all the way to the top, so congratulations in advance. Fritzy, please tell us who's on the Dan Patrick Show tomorrow.
Tony Dungy, Grant Hill.
And brevity brings clarity. Thank you for watching the Box Score FanDuel Draft Show. You can watch the Danis make their selections every week right here on Thursday on AT&T's Audience, Channel 239. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Right to you, baby.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!